Welcome back to Mind Over Matter, the show where the science of thought meets the magic of healing. Today's guest is Sophia Torrini, a transformation catalyst and clinical EFT practitioner who turned a life threatening illness into a life changing mission. With expertise in public health, energy medicine, and deep mentorship under Dr. Joe Dispenza, Sophia now guides people to hack reality through neuroplasticity, energy, and intention. If you ever wondered whether you can rewire your brain and reshape your life, the answer is yes. And Sophia is about to show us how. Sophia, your story is deeply inspiring. Can you share what led you from public health and network engineering into the world of subconscious rewiring and energy work?
Absolutely. So I, like everybody else, climbed the corporate ladder like many people. And somehow, through some unfortunate events and a lot of stress, I ended up having a surgery that um, kind of left me debilitated for 16 years, but also brought me to almost losing my life. And after not healing for so many years, I could not answer how could my body completely shut down overnight. And that led me to start researching other healing modalities everywhere I could find. And I ultimately found the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, which was very instrumental in my healing, but there was a component missing. I did not know how to channel or transmute is a better word, my emotions. It's great to say, control your thoughts, but if your emotions are all over the place and you're always feeling ill or miserable, it's very hard to control them. And EFT is an excellent modality to transmute lower frequency emotions of pain, suffering, anxiety to either neutral or even positive emotions. And when that happens, the body heals on its own. No one else does the healing for you. The body does it by itself. And that was my story, and eventually I got rid of all my medications and everything else that was going on in my life.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, was there a moment when it all clicked, when you felt your healing begin?
There wasn't it was steps along the way, but I knew at some point the body can heal. It didn't happen overnight. It took 18 months for that to take place. But hearing to other people's stories and then seeing every time I had a significant emotional release, I would end up in a place of being happier, but I could see physical alteration in my life, meaning an improvement of my physical body. So it was a progressive thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that shift from survival to transformation is the exact kind of possibility we all need to hear about.
I didn't hear the question. Can you please repeat that?
Mhm. No, I was just saying that that shift from survival to transformation is the exact kind of possibility we all need to hear about.
Absolutely. So when the body is under the flight or fight, and it's not and the sympathetic nervous system is activated, first of all, the body can't heal. It's impossible. The other thing that people need to be aware of, and we all think we're doing it right, the mind that created the problem cannot heal the problem. So when we analyze our problems, we're actually making our brain worse and we're making our body worse. So, what actually does the healing is the body reaching a place of neutrality and activating the parasympathetic system. And that happens with two things: changing your brain waves. So, when we're analyzed, we're in beta brain waves. And when we're super analyzing on stress, we're in high beta brainwaves. So our job is to go from alpha to theta brainwaves and be in high frequency emotions. That's what the body likes or needs, is a better word to say. And that's under those conditions, the parasympathetic nervous system really gets activated and the body now heals. That's the rest and digest part.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's talk about the subconsciousness. How do deep mental practices actually manifest physically in our bodies?
How do deep meditative practices manifest in the outside world, you mean?
Mm-hmm. How do deep mental patterns actually manifest physically in our bodies?
Okay, so we all have certain limiting beliefs, and the majority of us are not aware of them. And so watching people ill on the TV or watching negative stuff or hearing about illnesses on a 24/7 basis or telling us that everything's hereditary, we start acquiring those beliefs, whether we know it or not. And sooner or later, everything that we have in the subconscious mind is projected on the screen of life. The mistake that a lot of us do is they say, well, I want to heal, but the body is not healing. Your conscious mind wants to heal, and that is a 5% of your mind. Your other subconscious mind that kept on hearing or listening or watching danger all over the place is putting the body to feel danger because the body doesn't know if what you're experiencing is real or created by thought alone. So when we watch a lot of violence, when we watch a lot of negative news, the body gets activated or the sympathetic nervous system gets activated. And that is sooner or later that could cause the dropping of the frequency. Now, there's other components: anger, of course, fear, we said, but also eating processed food. It's like putting in the car, not the regular gas that it needs, you're putting some other thing in it. The car sooner or later is not going to work. So the same thing happens with us. So toxins that we ingest, bad food, but the majority is the negative thinking and emotion. And the strongest one is the emotions that really get us to project illness and get ill down the road.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what's one common subconscious belief that keeps people stuck, and how can we start shifting from it?
Okay, so a lot of people don't want to look into their subconscious beliefs. That's number one. There's another group of people. It's not that they don't want to look at the subconscious beliefs. They don't want to go back and look at the traumatic memories because sometimes these subconscious beliefs are created from traumatic memories. They really don't want to feel the bodily sensations or the emotions associated with them. So a lot of people don't look at that. There's also another group of people that they think they can heal it by themselves. And actually, that doesn't work. You need someone that has done this road and has a higher level of consciousness to guide it. So we can look at our subconscious beliefs. So in meditation, we can actually pick up and see what subconscious beliefs we have, but we can heal them inside when we're meditating. So we need some sort of a somatic modality to heal those emotions. So there's several somatic modalities. Breath work is one. There is EFT, there's EMDR, there's somatic awareness techniques. Though the majority of
changing a job or anything like that. But what I realized it's the brain memory.
um and uh that's okay. Uh and when we release, I'm trying to remember where we were. Right. So So we have to do it outside of meditation. So EFT, from all the modalities, shows that it's one of the fastest and one of the most effective. That doesn't mean the other ones don't work, and not everybody may choose EFT. And there are no side effects to emotional freedom techniques. So that's one thing that uh, an individual can do. And EFT has the ability, with hacking reality, to rewrite your experience. So you're creating new experience for the body, because all traumatic experiences are stored in the hippocampus. Once they're released, they go and get stored in the neocortex, but memories are held between two neurons, and we can prune those neurons and rewrite new experiences that are more empowering for us.
Mm-hmm. It's wild how much of our reality is running on silent programming. Awareness really is step one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're not aware, you are not going to know what it is. And again, I'm going to stress this because a lot of people get confused. Just because you have a conscious desire, that doesn't mean they're not subconscious beliefs that running in opposition. If that was the case, everybody who said, I wanted to lose weight, they would have lost weight right away. But the majority of people don't do that. So your 5% cannot fight and win the 95%. What the job is to clear whatever is in that 95%. So whatever is in the 95% aligns 100% with your conscious beliefs. Now it's a win-win. Now you have two forces helping you. You have your conscious mind, and your subconscious mind is in alignment. And usually successful people have the two things in very close alignment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, you call your book Hacking Reality? What does that mean in everyday terms? And how does neuroplasticity make it possible?
Okay, so I've been trained under hacking reality. It's not my modality, so I've been trained under it. So hacking reality, once the past is neutralized, is going, finding your past self and rewriting those memories. And why it works, it's because memories are held between neurons. We know now that the brain is neuroplastic. So when the brain doesn't go down that pathway and you've pruned that synaptic connection, that doesn't happen overnight, but you can do it over a short period of time. Now you can rewrite a new belief and a new memory. Let's say, for example, you you had an experience where you did very well in school, and you took it home and you showed it to your parents, and your parents uh, didn't approve of it because they were upset. Something else was happening, and they're very upset, and they didn't realize that you did well in school and you weren't congratulated, or whatever the story is. Now you have the belief that no matter what you do, you're not good enough. But in the tapping process, you release that emotional charge, and then you realize that while your parents were not so engaged, because maybe there was a loss in the family. Something had happened and their attention was on something else. You can go and rewrite now that memory with an empowering belief for you that you did great and your work is wonderful and you're good enough. And if you keep on replaying that new tape in your head or the new program, sooner or later, you are going to feel that you are very good at what you're doing and you're appreciated, or whatever it is. You're good enough for this. And that's how we use hacking reality. But before we do hacking reality, we have to neutralize the negative belief. You cannot just go and rewrite a memory over a program that's already running. So the negative belief has to be deleted, and then you rewrite the new memory.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. So, how do energy medicine and brain science complement each other in your approach?
Okay, so EFT is an energy modality. Energy raises the frequency of your electromagnetic field and the frequency of the body. So when we raise the frequency of the body and then our brain waves change, that's how it complements and makes the body heal. But the question we need to ask is, where are these patterns held? A lot of people believe that they're held physically inside the body. And I'm here to tell you they're not held physically inside the body. They're held in the blueprint before we enter this reality. Quantum physics has told us this is a holographic universe. So when we do healing, we want to do healing that alters the blueprint, not necessarily the physical body. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a flood that's in your basement. So you go and bring the plumber, you clean the flood. Every week is the same story. You clean the basement, but the flood keeps on coming back till you find out that there's a broken pipe on the third floor. Same thing here. When we want to use energy modality, we want to fix the third floor versus the basement. So a lot of the modalities, people address the physical body. In reality, it's the thoughts, emotions, which are in the field, and our beliefs that are affecting it, and and the imprints we have on the energetic body, not on the physical body, because that's what's being projected. And it's actually called the light body.
Mm-hmm. That fusion of ancient wisdom and cutting edge science is where the magic happens. It's so exciting.
It absolutely is. All the ancient teachings are coming back and now are proved by neuroscience and quantum physics. So, the Hindus in India, they knew, in the Advaita teachings, they knew. Chinese medicine has contributed, the Tibetans have contributed. They're all coming back full circle, but now all the pieces are kind of lining up. So each culture had a little piece of the puzzle or some piece of the puzzle, and now we're backing it up with science, which is what's making it much better for us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, for those who feel overwhelmed or doubtful, how do you help them trust the process, especially when they're facing chronic pain or emotional wounds?
Okay, so all the pain we're experiencing now in the today is because of patterns that have happened in the past. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, that's an overwhelm of emotions that the person can't process. So EFT would be a great start for people starting to connect with their body, feeling those emotions so there's less overwhelm. You have 100 programs open on your computer or your cell phone, the cell phone or computer is going to crash, right? So when they have all these unresolved emotions in the body, they're sooner or later going to have a panic attack. Most people think attacks happen out of nowhere. I'm here to tell you they've researched it and they start an hour before the panic attack actually takes place. So EFT would be a great start. No matter where you are or what you have, you can heal. It's a safe modality, and that old trauma doesn't have to haunt you anymore. And let's address why emotions are so important. The limbic brain, which is the chemical brain, produces chemistry when you were a child and you had a trauma and you weren't able to handle it. Energy can never be created or destroyed. So that chemistry gets stored in the physical cells of your body. So if that energy and emotion is not felt to be released, sooner or later, your body is going to have some sort of an ailment. Physical pain is emotional pain not having been processed. So the solution always lies to feeling and releasing your emotions and then letting go the negative thought patterns. Emotions hold the limiting beliefs. It's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what's one practice they can use today to reconnect with their inner power?
Okay, so one practice they can do is breathe slowly in their abdomen and put their awareness where the bodily sensation is or they think the anxiety is, because it always is at some part of the body, and putting your awareness by breathing into the abdomen because it makes the body feel safe. That's why we breathe into the abdomen, having our awareness without judging what the pain or the emotion is and without forcing us to leave. So that would be a first start. Now they could go on YouTube and find what the tapping positions are and just tap while they're doing the same practice. Within the less than 5 minutes, the person is going to start feeling much better because when you're physically tapping on the body, there can't be a tiger or a threat or an alarm going on. The physical act of tapping tells the body you're safe, which is why tapping is very effective. It gives a brain signal that you're safe. And the breathing also does the same thing at the same time. But most people, when they have this negative or uncomfortable bodily sensation, they want that pain to go away. And that pain has information. So what we resist persists. That's why I suggested you put your awareness and you are just curious to see why it's there. It's going to leave on its own if you don't judge it.
Yeah, that's so beautifully grounded. Healing isn't about force, it's about frequency.
Absolutely correct.
Hmm. So, what does it truly mean to live in a mind over matter reality?
You are in control of your thoughts and emotions. And then you also start creating your own reality versus the reality that was given to us. We're in a world that we bought into everybody else's belief. So once you master your emotions and you have control of your thoughts, you can actually start creating your own dreams. Um, Look at all the famous people or the successful people. They've all come from a very traumatic background and they don't want that story to be their story of victimhood. They have mastered their emotions and then have mastered their thoughts and they have a dream. And no matter what it takes, they believe in their heart that their dream is going to happen. And that dream sooner or later happens. When it happens, we don't know, but it does happen. And we have tons of people like that, whether it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, whether it's Tony Robbins, whoever it is. There's many people that have done that. And that story of their past is not the limiting factor and it doesn't define their future.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And what kind of transformation have you witnessed when people fully commit to that mindset?
Say that again, please.
And what kind of transformation have you witnessed when people fully commit to that mindset?
I had tons of limiting beliefs. So there was a lot of things I couldn't do. And by working on myself and working on my past, I am no longer defined. And I've had also people heal from conditions in a short period of time. I had a lady who had Tourette's, which is, she had been working on healing. It's a syndrome or a condition where uncontrollable movements happen, and sometimes they curse, they get so angry, and she healed within 6 or 7 sessions. So, I've had people who had panic attacks that healed in 10 sessions. So, the possibilities are endless. Once we start letting go of our stories that have impacted us so negative, then we can create a new story for ourselves, and there's room to create a better life for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. You just made the tangible feel possible. This is why these conversations matter because we matter.
You're here to have, yes, you're here to have a better life. We're not on earth to have a miserable life and be defined with what happened in our life. And we're at a time on this earth plane that things are changing, and what we were told was true is actually we're finding the opposite. The truth is revealed. I mean, these neurosciences principles are coming forward. There's We're at a wonderful time on this earth that we can actually enjoy our lives, have pleasure, and meet our dreams, and we don't need to be ill or be suffering. It's our birthright to be healthy. It's our birthright to have abundance, but we got lost along the way from all the limiting beliefs that society gave us and all these fears that you're going to get sick 24/7.
Yeah, I agree. Sophia, thank you for being a walking testimony to the power of rewiring our minds and rewriting our futures. And to all our listeners, your brain is not your destiny, it's your toolkit. Your thoughts can heal, your energy can shift, and your reality can transform. Until next time, stay curious, stay conscious, and remember, you are the creator of your inner and outer world. Thank you so much, Sophia. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be on your show. And if anybody wants to check my website, I offer a few complimentary stuff. So they don't have to pay for it. They're welcome to get a free consult. I'm going at tapintoyourbestself.com, and I teach a masterclass on neuroscience, and I have tons of blogs. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast, and I hope I can guide your audience. And I want to repeat, no matter where you are in your life, there's always another way and a better way.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.